U.S. President Donald Trump said on Wednesday that the U.S. military will not be needed to disarm Hamas militants. Trump said that the U.S. would support Israel in the effort and that U.S. wants Hamas to give up their weapons as part of the Gaza deal reached last week.
We won't need the U.S. military. We won't need it. We're going to, well, because we're very much involved in it. If we weren't involved, there wouldn't be peace. If we didn't destroy the nuclear capability of Iran, that deal would have never happened for two reasons. The Arab nations would not have felt bold enough to do it because you have a very powerful, at that time, Iran. It's not powerful anymore between what Israel and us did.
Meanwhile, United Nations Humanitarian Chief Tom Fletcher said on Wednesday that Israel would immediately open crossings into Gaza for humanitarian aid. The crossing remained shut on Wednesday despite reports that it could reopen to aid the convoys.
It should happen now. We want it to happen immediately as part of this agreement. As I said, 2-3 days ago, we were getting in at that number. The last couple of days have been lower, and we want to get back to the correct number and deliver at scale.
All right, DD India's Jessica Taneja joins us with the latest on this. Jessica, how do you view the situation? Israel has said that it will resume fighting if Hamas fails to honor the terms of the US-backed ceasefire. And on its part, Hamas has said that it has handed over all the bodies it can access. How do you read the situation? How will it pan out?
Well, it's a moment of sensitive diplomacy, Preeti. If you look at what Hamas has agreed to, especially in the first phase, they said that they would release all the 20 hostages that they had alive, and the rest of the deceased. They had not made such promises because they said they didn't know the whereabouts of many of the deceased, since many of the Hamas militants or leaders or the group in general, the way they had been taking hostages and where the exact locations of the hostages were perhaps is unknown. So Hamas says it needs more time, perhaps to take this moment to look at the entire area and the geography and to figure out where all are the bodies of the remaining deceased Israeli individuals there in the region. Now, when it comes to other aspects of the deal, Hamas had initially agreed, as per the deal that was discussed and signed in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt, was the fact that they would disarm and gradually, of course, also leave the Gaza Strip if possible, because on the other side is the Israeli Defense Force, which had categorically stated that it would not leave or withdraw the Gaza Strip till the time Hamas is disarmed. Now, if you gather a few reports here and there, Hamas and its group and factions have now started out to target other factions within Gaza who had in effect either aided the Israeli forces or were acting against the interest of Hamas. Now that crackdown has begun, and Israeli forces have taken note of that and have said that it will be very difficult to implement phase 2 of the deal. And that is the more contentious and more important part, because that would enable long-lasting peace in the Gaza Strip until and unless there is a disarmament from the side of Hamas and a complete military withdrawal gradually from the Gaza Strip. There will be then peace restored in the region, which is of course quite a distant dream, because as you heard from the UN Under Secretary General as well, aid has not been flowing to Gaza at the level that it should. The estimated number of trucks to be sent to Gaza Strip with aid was supposed to be 600, but that is not happening. The inflow of aid is much more and smoother than before, but not at the level that would be able to help the population of 2 million people in Gaza who are starving and perhaps are in need of basic necessities. So the focus for many right now, and the people who are trying to ensure peace in this very fragile region, would want to certainly ensure that people are helped at the end of the day, and political entities that are still operating in a sense where that could harm the deal that has been very difficult to achieve at this point and has stopped fighting for some time. In case this returns and in case Hamas remains politically active, it is going to be very difficult to move to the second phase of the deal.
All right, Jessica, we'll leave it here. Thank you so much for joining in with those details.